All right, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Good Mom. Good Mom, as our Tumblrs say. Yes. I love it. I love merch. I'm Sunny, and I'm with my good friend, Lindsay.
Hi,
And
Sunny.
we love to get together and just talk about things that are happening in our life. Lindsay, I think those are the best topics. It's like stuff just comes up, but, we show up to record and we're like, we're not really sure what we're going to record. What happened in your life over the last couple weeks? What happened in your life? And this topic literally just came about because we were chit-chatting after we recorded the last episode.
I love this. And I love how this works. I do.
Yes.
It's so great. So, yeah.
I do too. So, Lindsay, in the past, we've talked a little bit about meditation, right?
Yes.
And we know that that can be helpful. But for me personally, I've always struggled with the ability just kind of let my mind go. Okay, I'm just going to sit here in some sort of posture and think about nothing. And then my mind goes all over the place. And I've been really down about myself in the past over that because I feel like that is a path towards spiritual enlightenment.
Yeah.
But how do I get there when, I'm trying to go with like, what is my highest excitement? What am I most interested in? And I'm trying to lead with that. And that certainly isn't just sitting there, in that kind of pose, right?
Lotus position.
In
right.
the lotus
Exactly.
position, right? But I know how so many people can benefit from that and have benefited from that. So I can't remember if I was listening to something or reading something, but the idea of meditation was explained in a very different way, which I thought would be very helpful to our audience and for us to chat about this today.
Love it.
That is, meditation isn't just this. Okay. My legs are crossed. You can't see me. It's not just this. It is when you are in your zone. That's what we call it. I'm in the zone. And that's when you are on your, really, I would call it your A game. You are in a mindset where you are so comfortable.
Yeah.
And doing something that you love. So this could be something silly, like you're just hanging out with your kids and you look at your watch and you're like, holy crap, how did 2 hours go by? Because you are in the moment, right? And you are embracing what's happening there and you love whatever it is you're doing. People can have this, for their work. How many times, Lindsay, have you been working on a project and you're just so into it that again, time passes by. You don't even realize that you feel like you just sat down to do something and it's been 2 hours or whatever. And if
best.
Yes. And if we can harness this as moms, how much easier can we make our job moving forward?
Okay, so this is like the biggest, most awesome topic ever. I'm super delighted about this. And you're 100% right. Getting into the zone is a space that many people have experienced, but don't necessarily know what to call it or even how to get back there. That's the critical piece. So 2 things. If you're the kind of person who loves to meditate in lotus position, yeehaw, that means it's your zone. Like, go for it. And I can do that occasionally where I'm just sitting quietly and, holding my space and then just allowing the thoughts to flow through. Beautiful. It's a great, awesome place to be. And you do collect all kinds of new information. But I'll tell you, I can get into a zone just being on this podcast. And I kind of think of it as the way I'm channeling source is for me to go timeless and with no awareness of what's in the space around me, but all the awareness is coming up and through me. And that experience is being in the zone. So half the time, I don't know what I'm going to say because it's source energy coming through that's going to say what it's going to say. And then it's like, oh, okay, apparently I said that, So, I go back and watch our episodes and go, wow, that was cool. I wonder what I was saying. It's great.
Yeah.
In the zone, how do you get back to it? Okay. Part of it is setting an intention about being in the zone. So sometimes that's about setting the field. We live in a field of energy. Set your field for, I'm going to be my highest and best in the field I'm in, and I'm just going to show up. And whatever that means to you, just show up as the best version of yourself. And that often will throw you right into the zone. So I used to do that before every track meet when I was in high school. And I would visualize the night before me winning the race, running the race, the whole race from every top to bottom. And then the next day, I'd just be like, okay, boom, I'm showing up. And it was like literally playing a replay tape of me winning the race that I already won yesterday evening. but now today I'm running it. So it's about
Yeah.
being in that zone, a field of excellence or brilliance or whatever you want to call it, and knowing you set the intention to be there. And that's really where it is. Sometimes it can happen by magic. And I know I can go timeless when I'm, doing crafts. I don't even
Yeah.
know what time it is. Suddenly it's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
That's different, different kind of zone. I didn't set the intention other than just to play, and
Right.
I played. But it's a trick. There's a practice to it, Do you have a
Mhm.
way that you can get back in the zone, Sunny? Like
Ugh.
when you
I don't know that I plan for it to happen, but
mm,
I do find that it's happening more and more frequently where
okay,
where I'm existing. I know this sounds crazy, but I just feel like in a lot of ways I exist outside of time.
right.
And then I'm like, holy cow, like I'm not in a good way. I'm just not aware of my surroundings. And that's not a bad thing. Like I know people, might be listening to this going, oh, if you don't plan things out, if you do,
Yeah,
we have been conditioned
we
to
have.
believe that everything has to be structured.
We have.
But
It's not true.
that's not always living in the now. We talk about that a lot,
Yep.
just being present and
Yeah.
allowing things to happen
Yeah.
and embracing whatever comes at you, which is really what we do with these episodes, right? We're just very
Yeah.
open to
Yes.
the topics and what comes out. And, we don't have like a script when we hit the record button, guys. And it's not because we don't care about this show, it's actually the exact
It's
opposite.
opposite. Yes.
But
Yes.
it's our intention is
Mhm.
to give you all of us,
In the
when
now.
we're doing in the now with whatever is supposed to come up. So there's a guy you guys should check out because I'm just mesmerized. He's like the quintessential example of what we're talking about now. His name is Michael Murdad,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's online. I don't know if you've heard of him before, but he is. I don't want to call him a preacher, okay?
Yeah.
But he does have like a spiritual practice and a
Yeah.
congregation that meets. But this is what he does. So you know how sometimes I come from a church background, so I'm used to a pastor
Yeah.
creating a sermon
Right.
and spending time, and maybe you get together with your elders and you go over ideas for the sermon, and it is planned, and there's a
Yes.
bulletin that goes with it. You fill
Structure,
in the little blanks
structure.
when you go to church, right? So Michael Murdad gets together with people, a congregation, whatever you want to call it, and he says, "Tell me what's on your mind."
Yeah.
And people just shout stuff out,
Love it.
okay, at him.
Yep.
And he takes those ideas, he processes it. So just like very quickly, just kind of
It
meditates
just
on the
puts it in.
ideas.
Yeah.
And he just starts talking, and it turns into, and I don't want to call it a sermon, it turns
No.
into a life lesson about where we
Yeah.
are spiritually as humanity and where
Nice.
we're going. And but I'm so mesmerized but I know we can all do this. We can all do this.
We
You
can all
don't
do
have to
it.
spend a lot of time doing whatever, but it's
Yeah.
that and I'm sure, he would probably admit, like, if there wasn't a clock there, he would be in the zone. He would, he's
Correct.
just speaking from the heart and then taking other, people's input, and it's just what it is,
Yes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Sunny in the zone.
Yeah.
Because that was it right there. And that's literally how it works.
Yeah.
You just kind of get into the zone. And the other thing, as the evolving role of good mom, we talk about this, good moms taught lots of things back in the day, like baking and how to, sew and how to keep your house clean and all the things. That was way back. And,
Yeah.
then it became, and then how do you do a resume and how do you build your life career? And then we,
Yeah.
it keeps evolving. The role of
Yeah.
mom is going to be this person who helps kids learn life skills that keep them alive in a new world. Well, this is one of them. So start paying attention now to your kids' zone. When they're in the zone, don't interrupt them. Leave them alone. Now, if they're constantly gaming and they're timeless in a 4-hour gaming session, you may want to, as I did with my kids, invent the mom button. And I would say, okay, kids, you got 10 minutes game. You can only be in the zone for so long without the rest of your life catching up to you. And
Yes.
that kind of thing. So, but notice where they're in the zone. Notice what they're doing and when they're just timeless.
Yeah.
And when they have no stress and no
Mhm.
anxiety and no world stuff bothering them, it's a
Yeah.
skill that they need to learn that they have it. Because if they don't learn that, then life will get really, really hard at some point. Really
It's
hard.
true. Yeah.
So Yeah. And this world we're heading into now is going to be nothing short of, on the exterior world, chaos. It's going to feel, I call it chaotic. That's the appropriate term. You can look it up. It's a real term.
Okay.
It does have order,
Huh.
but it's order out of chaos.
Right.
And so, what kids are going to have to know how to do is take in disparate information and create order for themselves that is in
Mm,
alignment with their frequency.
right.
And that's a challenge. This is not something that you get taught in school,
Yeah.
people. And so, this is what Sunny and I are about too, is how can we help you, our listeners, learn these skills of good momness for the future? Because our kids need to know different things besides baking and sewing and resume writing.
Yeah.
This is now an entirely new world, an inner world that will help them create the outer world that we all want to be part of. So,
And you as a mom being in your zone as
mhm,
often as you can, our kids are like little sponges. And so
mhm,
the best way for them to learn is to see it through you. So when
absolutely.
those moments happen, allow them to happen.
Yeah.
And your kids will pick up on that and they're going to learn so much just from you doing the practice yourself.
It's
So,
100% true. And I'll
yeah.
tell you, I think we live in a time where our kids want to learn from you in that way.
Yeah.
So, just one other quick question for you, Sunny, because I
Mm,
think the zone and meditation, the traditional style of meditation can also help lead you to the zone, even if you take 5 minutes. It's
yeah.
all of a sudden when you've just said, I'm going to be quiet. So, one of my friends, Matthew Ferry, and his wife, Kristen Ferry, have a book out called Quiet Mind, Epic Life.
Mm,
And I can highly recommend it as a place to begin if you want to start to see what are the things that are constantly chattering and how can you help them to be a
yeah.
little quieter so that the truth of you comes through. And I love sitting quietly, even just for 10 minutes in the morning with my cup of coffee and my poodle. It's that is my meditation space. It's so good. And all I'm doing is setting my field for the day.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing. And getting my mind to quiet down as much as it can. I'm not thinking about what I'm doing today. I'm just being. Oh, it's a new day. Be in the now and then watch what wants to come through you.
Yeah.
That's
And Yeah, and I was just gonna say one thing, that as you were talking, I was like, I actually do my own version of meditation. It's not the lotus position, but
right.
one of the things that I feel off if it doesn't happen, and I'm just now realizing that this is a form of meditation, is a
Mm.
practice. So I love red light therapy. It's just
Oh,
like my thing. And if I don't do my red light therapy every day, a part of me feels like something's a little off, right?
yeah.
Besides the benefits that you get from, infrared therapy and the lights. But I, it's kind of like a meditation because
Mhm.
I turn everything off. I actually even turn off the lights because
Yeah.
for the red light to penetrate, that's better. And so I'm in a quiet space. I usually turn
Mhm.
on like 432, some music that's playing at, 432 hertz. And I, lay down and I try to still my mind. So
I
I guess
love
that
it.
that it, but it's funny. I just never really thought of that as meditation. I view that more as a health practice, but whatever you call it, it's
Whatever you
still,
call it. Yeah.
and that's when, and sometimes I fall asleep, honestly, but
Perfect.
that's when I get a lot of my great ideas.
I love that. And it's so
Yeah.
wonderful that you do that every day. I do something similar, not red light, but that's the thing for the people who are listening. Find your thing.
Yeah. Whatever it
And
is.
generally, if you can do it first thing in the morning, or,
Yeah.
close to that as possible, it's one of the best things you can do for yourself, for your
Right.
kids, and for the
Right.
world, because you're recharging yourself to maximum power. If you left your phone off of its charger all night, how effective is it for the next day? It's a little clunky. Same idea. This is your
Yep.
charging station. What do you want your charging station to be?
That's right.